Hi, this is Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. Tonight with me I have Gary Louie of the Valley Golf Shop. He is a PGA professional and he's with the United States Golf Teaching Federation, and he's been teaching about 12 years. And I was telling Gary that I got hurt back in 1990 and I haven't golfed in well, probably just 18 years. And from talking to people out and about what to do shows on, I had a lot of people talking about golf. And finally I said, well, if that's what the people want, I'm going to give them a golf show. So I contacted Gary and said, well, can you teach me and probably others that haven't golfed in years of what's going on with golf? And of course, one of the goals of this show is for people to get outside and get some exercise and get some clean air and whatnot. So anyways, Gary's kind enough to join us tonight to teach me and you about golf. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Appreciate you having me. What would you like to know?
Well, right now I would like to know what your shop's about.
Our shop's about retail and teaching. We have a learning center on one side and we have teaching on the other. Retail on one side and learning on the other. My goal is basically to get you in and educate you on golf itself.
Well, things have changed so much, and from the shot that we just saw, it's a pretty big store. So I would walk in there, I wouldn't have a clue of what to get, what to do, and I'd be overwhelmed right now.
Sure. When you came in, we definitely would greet you with open arms. We teach anybody and everybody from little kids to handicapped people, you name it, we teach them all. Once you come into the store, you're going to be kind of overwhelmed at first because there is a lot of retail at first. But what we do is when you come in, we educate you. We come in, we want to see you swing a little bit, then we put you on film. We basically are learning what you're about first.
You put me on film?
Yes. What we do is we right away, a person comes in, I want to see they want golf clubs, but yet we need to see what you look like first. And we want to show you what you look like. So then once you see that, then that's how your education starts.
Well, that's pretty impressive. So you're saying that also if I had like a young son and I brought him in there, he would get the same...
You get the same treatment. You get the same treatment as a tour player does.
Ooh, I like that. And so essentially how old should a young person start golf?
You see it all the time. Like Tiger Woods, he started when he was 4, 5 years old. You could start him anywhere, but the education part doesn't really, instructional-wise, probably around 9 or 10. Because then they start to get a little more focused on playing the game.
Well, I remember I had a lot of fun playing golf around 12.
Yeah.
My family, we had a cottage on a lake, and it also had a membership to a golf club, and we just played every day, twice a day. It was just perfect.
Right.
And it was a lot of practice, but we didn't have any education. And then I kind of lost track of it because at a certain point I peaked out. And so I would definitely like to have someone like you to teach me how to continue to improve.
And that's what it's all about. We basically, there is the new golf clubs, the new styles, the new technology is definitely much better. But you still want to learn how to swing it first.
So I walk in the door, and you put me in a situation where you're filming my swing?
Yes.
Okay, and that's like multiple cameras or something? Or?
Yes, we got a couple cameras, one side view and then a face-on view. And what that does is that shows me both sides of your swing. It shows me posture, grip, ball position, alignment. Those are the basic stuff. Mm-hmm. So once we start that's where the learning process starts coming in. That's where the teaching part comes in.
So then we sit down and whatever, and we watch the video of what I just did.
Right.
Is it computer generated or that kind of thing?
It sure is. It's computer generated. We could draw little lines on you. It's really neat. And then we could put you next to Tiger Woods, Ernie Els, anybody you want to get next to see the difference between you and.
So you have one of these fancy computer systems I've been hearing about?
Oh yeah.
So when I go, I can be compared to somebody that. Probably you would compare me to somebody who is similar status.
More like you.
I don't mean because I don't think I'm the same structure as Tiger, but
well, it's not the only reason why I do Tiger is because Tiger has perfect fundamentals. So your goal is it's not perfect fundamentals, but your goal is somewhat better fundamentals. Okay, we're not trying to turn you into Tiger Woods, but that's what your goal is kind of that point.
Well, I know he's perfect. I enjoy watching him on TV tremendously, actually. And but I was thinking that was it Stadler? He's kind of a big guy like me,
Craig
and maybe I don't know if I'm the same
Sure,
belly,
sure.
but I would think that with my belly, I'd have to have a different type of swing.
Exactly.
And
It's really not a different type of swing. It's just using what you have. That's all.
that's very interesting. And so we do the computer then. Now, what's the next stage?
Well, the next stage would be, we figure out first that, are you ready for clubs? Are you ready for new clubs? Or are you ready for lessons? So sometimes when they come in, what I'll do is instead of trying to sell you clubs right away, the old retail, boom, 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 here you go, salesman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of look at it first and say, well, why don't we do this first? Why don't we start with lessons first to get you going on the right track, and then we can put you in the nice clubs, the
So
clubs
with
that fit you.
so you've been doing this for 12 years. So you've been getting a lot of experience teaching people.
Oh, yeah, so much. It's where it's all at. I mean, experience is where it's at. You know that. I mean, even when you're playing, the experience is.
Well, I think I saw up there you had like an indoor driving range or something.
Yes,
or,
yes.
So is that part of the computer, or is that just something where you would talk to me why I'm?
No, actually, that is part of the computer. There's 3 different stations that are involved there too. So, like the station that we have, where there's a station where you can actually get club fitted. There's a station where there's actually where you can where the teaching part is, and then there's just one station where you can hit balls.
So you would just be watching me hit a bucket of balls and
Yes.
just say how I'm maintaining it,
See how you're maintaining it, see where you're at,
and then
and then go from there. And then we, instead of trying to throw you into clubs right away, let's get you started on your swing. If that's what it takes, let's do lessons first, okay?
so you would try probably a different variety of clubs too that you have on
Sure.
hand.
Oh yeah, we got all kinds. I mean, that way you got from the tour player type blade to the cavity back casted club. Something real simple and easy to hit over here, or if you're good enough that you're at this position, then we do that.
So if I just retired as well and I need to come someplace to learn how to play golf because I've been working my tail off my whole career, this is the place to go.
This is the place to go.
And I told you earlier that like I said, disabled, and you would be able to monitor me where I pretty much would tell you all my things that hold me back a little bit.
Well, I'm going to actually interview you first too. You're going to tell me these things, but I'm also going to say, hey, is there anything that's going to hold you back? Do you have any restrictions? You got knee problems, back problems, those kind of things. We can work around that.
Because I do know a lot of people have knee problems and arthritis and things like
Sure,
that. So
sure.
you'd walk in the door and I just put everything down on like a medical piece of paper.
Yeah, we're going to
and
take a little interview.
clearance and all that. So
Exactly.
you get pretty technology.
Yeah, it's pretty high tech. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not the Callaway, or those kind of things, those high techs, but we're right there close to it.
I'm just used to getting a box of balls and some clubs at Kmart. I'm not used to all this education.
And and it's not nothing putting down Kmart or Walmart, whoever.
Oh no, I
it
didn't
is.
mean it that way. Just
what
the
I
way
mean?
I grew up.
No, what I'm saying is I don't mind you if you went and bought a set of those, because it doesn't make any sense if you went and bought $1,200 worth of clubs and you left them sitting in the dust, just leaving them there. Good, get started. All we want you to do is get started. Okay, once you get started, you see us, and we'll take care of it after that. So basically, it's not so much that, it's just we want you to get started in the game of golf, really.
Well, it sounds good. The clubs I have right now, I think I got them for Christmas, so my mom probably bought them someplace, and it's probably not suited to me.
Well,
but,
yeah, they're not fitted for you or anything, but it's at least it's a start.
well, now at this situation, since I do have a bag of clubs, should I restart over, or should I just bring them in and see if you could refit them to me? or-
Actually, you come in, you bring them in, see if we can, we might be able to refit them. We might be able, because we do a lot of the repairs there too, so we can actually extend the shafts just to get them close to you for now, to get you started. Okay, and then once you really get into this thing where you're starting to hit the ball pretty crisp, and you got good posture, good fundamentals, and all that stuff, then you can start taking it.
So as far as teaching, you basically set an appointment and you're there for an hour or so, and then you turn me loose onto a place to drive or putt while you're teaching somebody else, because imagine you have a lot of people this time of year.
Well, yeah, this time of year it starts to get pretty crowded. But what we like to do is say like the first time you come in, okay, and usually we got these little packages and stuff. What we do is we have you do 2 in 1 week. So we get you started right away, okay? So that way, the next week, you do 1. What we want you to do is we want you to go out and practice a little bit. You got to practice this thing a little bit. Or it's
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna work, you know what I mean?
golf is a lot of practice.
So that way, when you go out and practice, you come back to me, I get feedback. You tell me that you're doing this, you're doing that, the ball's doing this. So I get a little feedback. Guess what? We put you back in here, and then we can pick those pieces apart and fix those.
You mean you redo the computer simulation thing?
Yes, always.
Really?
Yes.
Why? For some reason, I keep on thinking that's real expensive. It's just it's part of your training normal now.
Yeah, it's nothing really.
I just keep on hearing these ads that some people make it such a big deal out of it. I just didn't think the smaller shops had something like that. So I'm really impressed.
No, we're pretty much all the little guys are pretty much.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And but besides kids, you have high school kids. I understand that you're teaching as well.
Sure, I do. I got quite a few of the high school kids. Thomas Wicker's one of my kids from Douglas County. He's a really good golfer. So
is this one of the kids right there? Or?
Matter of fact, that is Thomas. He has done really well. We've been working in the winter time. See, this is where it paid off for him in the winter. Mm-hmm. So when we couldn't go out and play, he got to come in and work. Train.
Well, was what you say is Thomas?
Thomas.
Was Thomas? Is he on the golf team?
Yes, he's on the Douglas High School golf
so
team.
While other people are doing something else, he's out practicing.
Yes.
And he can practice year-round at your location.
Yes, you can.
And it's paid off for him?
It's paid off big time for him.
What did it do for him again?
Actually went all the way to state.
Oh!
He was the only one on the team who went to state.
From our little region.
Yes, exactly. So, and he's only a sophomore in high school.
Oh, that's amazing.
He's doing really well.
And then he's your student.
He's my student.
Oh, you can brag now.
Yeah.
You probably can brag for the last 12 years, too.
Yeah.
Did you say you had somebody else that was a student as well there?
Well, actually, one of the guys that was on the pictures that we have in there, his name is Brad, and I've been working with him he's been my neighbor for the last year and a half maybe. And he started out like at 112 or, something like that up in there. So now he's shooting in the 80s. So that tells you how much important it is as far as teaching, lessons.
Mm-hmm. Well, so from a year, he went from 112 to 80s? Mm-hmm. And he's lucky enough to be your neighbor, too, though. You give him extra shots.
Yes, he hangs out, too, so it's a good thing.
Well, I think it's a good thing that you help our students because golf starting out can be overwhelming. It's big courses, and there's all kinds of people and equipment. And actually, at this point, you're making me consider getting back into golf because I think I'm at the level now I've worked real hard to get back to be able to try sports.
Sure.
And so I guess we're going to challenge you and see what you can do for my score. I guess I have to start out with practicing and.
Well, what you got to remember too, it's not always about the score either. It's about how much fun you have and being outdoors.
Well, that's actually the goal. Is from doing the show, I realized that I've been more of a watcher of people doing things than an actual out there participating.
Right.
And I want people to get excited about participating. Well, it's got me excited about doing it too. I can't wait to get down to your shop.
Yeah, you'll love it.
And for some reason, I just thought that all the super duper pros had access to these computers. I didn't know that they're so common these days that someone like me could walk into a pro shop and learn. And Gary, you sounds like you're a pretty good professional. So I look forward to coming down for some training. And the next segment we'll be talking about some of the other things that you do at the Valley Golf Shop.
Hi, I'm Fish and Game Warden Patrick Foy. Boaters at Lake Tahoe should expect watercraft inspections at all launch sites around the lake. These inspections are designed to prevent the destructive spread of zebra and quagga mussels as well as other aquatic invasive species. If brought into Lake Tahoe, invasive species will damage boats and the pristine waters and be impossible to remove. Remember to clean, drain, and dry your boat every time before entering a new body of water. Clean boats stop aquatic hitchhikers.
In order to protect our riding opportunities, we've got to tread lightly. That means staying on roads, trails, and areas designated for ATVs. Also, go over, not around trail obstacles to avoid widening trails. And cross rivers slowly, and only at places where the trail crosses the stream. Join the millions of responsible riders who protect our privileges and our natural resources by treading lightly in the outdoors. Visit Tread Lightly at treadlightly.org.
Hi, we're back. I'm with Gary Louie of the Valley Golf Shop, and when we took our break, I was talking about how I have a set of golf clubs I haven't used in many years, and I would like to probably bring them in and see what we can do with them to have them repaired and maybe refitted or to be able to use them. I almost gave him the helping hands the other day because I didn't think I'd have to buy new clubs again because my style has changed. But Gary, can you help me out? What do I do with my golf clubs?
Yes, we got a full-on repair facility there.
So if I bring my clubs in, you can, after testing, you can say what's savable and not savable?
Exactly. We can see what's worth it. Sometimes you don't even have to buy new clubs. We can just retrofit them as far as extending them. If the clubs are too short, we can actually extend them, put new grips on. Our repair facility does pretty much everything. We reshaft, we regrip, we do the fittings, we do pretty much everything.
So I don't have to buy new clubs. You're going to help me out.
Yeah, I mean, if they're old, if they're really old, yeah. I hate to see you playing with 1,800 clubs, but
well, they're haven't been used much.
okay. So,
but even if I am an avid golfer, and I need everything done, you can do everything at your shop.
Sure, we can. We can do everything. We get a lot of people that get a little frustrated and break a few shafts here and there, and we can repair them.
I've heard rumors where people actually hit things with their golf clubs.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not their fault too. They're hitting around a tree or something and they break it. And
Yeah, I've seen some pros hit the trees pretty good in a root.
It can be repaired.
And so you do all the fittings, and
Yes.
is that the word for it?
Actually, fittings is what another segment we do as far as when you come in. When you come in to get new clubs, we do a special fitting center, okay? So then when you come in, we make sure we measure you, we make sure that, from the wrist down, we pretty much make sure that the clubs fit you. So then once you get on this certain machine that we have, it shows you everything about ball speed, launch angles, you name it. So we can actually fit those clubs right down to the tee.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And then this picture here, is this one of your computer simulations of
Yes,
how
it is.
you would hit?
Yes, it is.
So
it pretty much shows you, as you can see, the ball flight, how the ball was spraying all over the place a little bit, okay? But then if you look at it, it shows the club angle, the ball speed. It shows you pretty much everything that you really sometimes don't want to know.
No, I would think if you continue the practice, this kind of thing would be very good for someone like me. I'm very competitive.
Exactly.
That's part of my frustration is I'm very competitive. If I get on there, I want to win. And if I have to take out your ankle with my club and no, but I'm the kind of person that does practice a lot, and I would want to get back and try to work hard to get better.
Well, that's good. That's the only way you really. This game is a game. You got to remember that. But you got to practice a little bit. You might be a good chess player, but you still practice at chess, don't you?
Oh yes.
So that's you got to practice a little bit with this game.
So you're telling me that you have a staff that can take care of all my golf club needs?
Yes, we got to take care of everything.
And do you do that too, or do you have some people?
Oh yeah, I do it all myself.
Really?
Certified club fitter and maker. So we pretty much got everything there. We got from all the shafts that we carry are all the latest and greatest. You're talking about Fujikura, Aldala, Diamana, you name it. We pretty much carry Graphite Design. We carry pretty much every shaft that you can possibly get.
And these companies trained you to do all this stuff?
Yes, you actually go to a school to have these to be trained to have this done. Yeah, so it's a pretty good. The process is a lot. It's actually pretty good. You got to be educated to actually do this.
Well, I was saying, I just didn't think of a PGA Pro to actually doing this type of work too.
Well, actually, once you go through the PGA Professional Program, this has everything, this whole program: club fitting, club making, teaching, how to run a shop, and you're pretty much how to run a golf course maintenance. You're well-rounded in the field of golf. That's what you are.
So when you graduate from these schools, you kind of join a fraternity of people that are trained as well.
Sure.
All over the region too,
All
maybe.
over the region, yeah.
That's pretty exciting because I didn't know you guys did all this thing. So I can just go to my local shop and they'll take care of me.
That's right. You find your local PGA professional, and they will take care of you.
Well, who's this helping you out right now?
That's my father. That's my dad. Yeah, my dad's been helping me out the last couple months. Actually, he's really getting into it. He's starting to do the repairs. Right there, he's working on the angle machine. Okay, and that's what that machine actually tells me what the loft is and the angle of the club. Okay, and that's the lie angle of the club. Okay, that's important because if the lie angle's too up or too down, if it's too down, that means the balls are going to go right. If it's too up, the balls are going to go left. So it's important to get that angle down, and that's what that machine's all about.
So if I'm having a problem with my clubs, according to your computer, you would just adjust the club.
Exactly. If I could. I mean, sometimes you can't because it's a casted versus a forged club.
But it might be me, but you'll do me first, then you figure out if it's me or the club.
Exactly.
Because sometimes I've had clubs where they actually hit about the same,
Right.
and I didn't know why.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a standard in the industry as far as standard, but there really is no standard person.
Well, to me, the retail aspect is getting confusing because when I was a young man, I just thought everybody had to use the same type of clubs. And now I see people advertising, Big Bertha and people like the big
Callaway.
giant. And these are all legal to be on the golf course?
Yes.
And
The biggest head you could get now is called a 460. It's a 460 at 460cc. It's a pretty good sized head. Okay. But when we come here, our retail part, we have pretty much all the retail. So when you come in, we assist you on that. You know, a guy will come in and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what we have for you as far as tailor-made, ping, Odyssey, a putter, just pretty much everything. You're there to be assisted.
well, I keep on seeing people try these different styles of putting too. You have the belly putters, which for some reason a lot of pros are doing now. I don't understand that.
Right.
And I have a ping putter right now myself, but so that's part of your practice too, is getting people comfortable with the same type of putting equipment too.
Yes. I mean, putting is very individual, just like anything else. I mean, if you notice, everybody's got a different style of putting. I mean,
It's getting weird.
putting is definitely up in here.
You think it's more mental?
It's more mental than anything else. This game is a lot real mental.
Well, yeah, it's very frustrating. I hear people all the time saying how much they practice and they peak out. But I think if you had your services, then you could restudy of why you peaked out.
Right.
And it also sounds like if you change something, maybe your knee's not as strong as they used to be, or something else, you can change the equipment too.
Sure.
And then for someone like me, go for a bigger head, because this might sound silly, but I don't think my eyesight's very good. So is it easier to hit with a bigger head if you can't see too well, or?
Sure. I mean, this gives you a little more confidence too. I mean,
That's what I said about Big Bertha.
Yeah, looking down there with a small head compared to a big head. Sure. I mean, it's a definite.
I don't think I can miss that ball with some of these giant golf clubs. I mean, they're huge.
They're pretty good size. Yeah, they are pretty good size. But it's changed the industry a lot because it's actually given it a little easier to hit. It's a little easier to hit. If you look at the old days, as far as the persimmon head was very small. Okay, so golf was pretty tough still back then. Now the heads are so big. I mean, come on, just looking at that's going to give you a little more confidence.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. I can hit the ball with that thing. It's going to go someplace.
Sure.
But you were saying earlier that the scores of throughout the country are actually rising.
Yes.
With all this fancy technology
all
and
this
clubs
technology and everything.
The balls that's supposed to go forever when you hit them.
Well, what's the reason why my shop? I like the way I'm working my shop is it's more education is what you need. More people are passing up the fundamentals of golf and going straight to the club, thinking that's going to change their game. That's going to help their game. That's going to improve their game. Well, really, it's not. It's basically it's put you backwards because now you're thinking that's going to help you, but it's really not. Your swing is out of whack. It doesn't matter what you're swinging.
So people are we're turning into like a now society. They're impatient to get better,
Very much.
and then they get all mad and they don't pay attention to you until it's time they've understood that they aren't getting any better without your lessons.
Exactly.
Because I see it all the time. People want instant gratification.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just not the way. I think it's great for society that to get out there and play a relaxing game of golf around creeks and trees and
Sure.
the beautiful scenery and.
Man, like I tell my students, I said, remember, this is an adventure.
And plus, to be able to actually, golf might become a little bit cheaper for society because you're going to do entertainment things in your region because of the gas prices and things.
Right.
So if you go to a place like yours where someone can do one activity, a kid can do training in one thing while the dad's doing training in another thing, it sounds fun.
Yes.
Because my dad's father-son thing was for me to just play golf with him, but he wasn't much in telling me what to do.
Right.
He was like, hit the ball.
Well, and that's
Okay.
why that's the hard part. I mean, because golf is hard. It's not an easy game. So if you're taught, if somebody teaches you the fundamentals, you're going to get it faster and quicker.
Well, one time we ended up with a golf professional who just joined my dad and I golfing in Mackinac Island, and he took 10 strokes off my game just from playing for 12 holes. So I think that you probably do a pretty good service, and And like you said, you've been doing it for 12 years. How would you decide to become a golf professional type thing?
You know, I've always been an athlete my whole life, and I still have that bug as being an athlete.
So you're competitive too.
Yes. So I felt that golf still has that edge. I mean, playing at U.S. Open qualifiers or doing professional tournaments, you still get that same adrenaline flow you get when you're playing football. So that adrenaline flow is still the same as a golfer. It's just that as a golfer, you don't get to get rid of it. It's pretty much stays there for a while, but it still has that adrenaline flow.
Well, with the family and your golf center or shop, how do you get out to even practice anymore yourself?
Well, actually, I usually do most of my lessons in the summer in the mornings, and then what I'll do is I'll go out to our local Genoa Lakes and teach some out there too.
All right.
So I'm always out. Either I'm doing golf, 100%.
So you're able to play some too.
Yes, I'm able to play too.
Some not.
We got to keep our game up a little bit.
Well, I've always heard that people who actually buy a golf course, that kind of kills their ability to play golf. So if you're able to get out there and still have some fun, and are you in any tournaments the last couple of years? Or?
No, actually, I haven't really done a whole lot. I'm basically focusing on this as far as this school. I mean this store, but I'm also focusing on my daughter too. She's on the Douglas High School team.
Your daughter's golf team?
Yes, my daughter.
Oh, she's going to be spoiled.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She is 7. She just turned 17, and her name is Shelby. And last year, Douglas went to the state championships and took second place.
The girls' team?
Yes, the girls' team.
And your daughter did this?
Yes, my daughter did.
In
this.
her team, their teenies practice
Yes.
with you as the coach?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, she's got to be very proud.
Yes. So it was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun experience.
Well, it's amazing. Where do you go for like a state tournament? Is that like in Vegas or something?
They do it back and forth. They go north and south every other year.
Well, that's exciting. I didn't know that we had so many talented young people in our area.
We do. We got quite a few. You'd be surprised.
Well, like I said, I'm envious actually of the technology for training a young person. So if you want to get trained, you just give you a call at what number?
At 775-267-6940.
And do you have a website where people can do
Yes,
it?
Valley Golf Shop, www.valleygolfshop.com. And I also have an email at gary@valleygolfshop.com.
Well, we'll put that on the display for everyone to contact Gary. And I really appreciate the education, and I'm going to take him up on the idea of coming to his shop and get some of this education. And we'll see how Gary does with kind of a man who needs to relearn the sport. And thank you, Gary, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you having me.
And this has been Michael Smith for Nevada Trails.